of sense. I'm like, well, you damn sure shouldn't. It says, where is Cinco de Mayo and why do people celebrate it? Cinco de Mayo is a popular holiday in the U.S., but many people don't know what exactly it celebrates. Okay? Cinco de Mayo is much more than an excuse to indulge in some creamy homemade guacamole and mouth-watering dulce de leche cookies. When you dive into the history of this holiday, there's actually a quite fascinating story waiting to be told. You're in the right place to learn about this Mexican celebration. But if you want to really impress your family, you'll want to have this little-known Cinco de Mayo trivia in your back. Blah, blah, blah. A common misconception is Cinco de Mayo is the celebration of Mexico's independence, similar to the 4th of July in the U.S. But that's not true. And that's not the only all too common misunderstanding about the holiday. Why not brush up on the rich history? Da, da, da. First, when is Mexico's Independence Day? We not worried about that. It's September 16th. So what is Cinco de Mayo? The date that Cinco de Mayo, which is Spanish for May 5th, commemorates wouldn't happen for several decades after the Mexican War of Independence. The day actually celebrates a single battle, the Mexican Army's 1862 victory over France at the Battle of Puebla. The colonizing French were led by Napoleon III. While the United States was preoccupied with the Civil War, the emperor thought it was a good time to establish a French outpost in the Americas as a replacement for the French controlled land lost during the Louisiana Purchase. Excuse me. The Mexican army was considered an underdog before defeating French forces. Though the success of the Mexican army would be relatively short-lived, the French did end up controlling the country for about 5 years. The battle's victory came to represent a symbolic victory for the Mexican government. Today is also widely accepted as a moment to celebrate Mexican culture and heritage. Is Cinco de Mayo celebrated in Mexico? Cinco de Mayo is actually a much bigger deal in the U.S. than in Mexico. Oops! Oops, did y'all know that? Oops, okay. Well, most people don't celebrate the holiday. In the 1960s and 1970s, the day began closely tied with the Chicano rights movement. Thanks to Mexican American activists in California, the holiday went mainstream in the United States after 1980s and campaigns by beer importers like Modelo and Corona. What? Baby, I didn't even know Modelo was out that long ago. What? Although it's a big deal in America, I mean, in the United States, it's still celebrated in parts of Mexico. Um, and it says, with that in mind, here are a few do's and don'ts for celebrating Cinco de Mayo in America. So y'all listen now. Thumbs up the video. This looks good. Hold on. Oh, y'all need to thumbs up the video. I've been seeing me running my mouth for a real long time. Oh, all right. So I got one thumb. All right, thank you. Appreciate it. Don't wear a fake mustache, sombrero, or serape. Okay? Do enjoy tons of authentic Mexican food. Okay? Don't call it Cinco de Drinko or Cinco de Broncho. Okay? Do visit a Mexican Cultural Institute to learn more about Mexico's rich history. All right, we learned something today. Oh. Whew. I need to get my butt on up out of here. I'm trying to think, what street am I on? I gotta get that taste out my mouth.